Deep in the heart of the countryside, nestled between rolling hills and whispering trees, stood a charming little house. It was a picture of warmth and joy, with its windows glowing like golden eyes and its roof laden with climbing roses. Her most enchanting feature, however, was her hair, a mass of tight curls the color of rich, dark chocolate cascading down her back like a silken waterfall. But it wasn't just her appearance that made her so endearing. Her destination, the woods, where a magical world awaited her. The forest was her sanctuary, her confidant, her wonderland, and there was no path she wouldn't tread nor a creature she wouldn't befriend. The gurgling of a nearby stream was a soothing melody, and the rustling of leaves overhead sounded like 1,000 tiny voices whispering secrets only she could hear. She would sit on a nearby log and watch them play, their white tails bobbing like cheerful flags in the wind. There she would meet the squirrels that chattered greetings from their lofty perches on the branches. She loved to throw acorns for them, watching with amusement as they chased each other around the tree, their bushy tails flicking in the air. In exchange, they would shower her with affection, grooming her hair and face with their soft little hands, making her feel more loved than she could have ever imagined. Sometimes one of the bolder rabbits would hop up on her lap, and she would stroke its soft fur, feeling a connection so pure it brought tears to her eyes. She cared for them, played with them, and understood their language as if she had been born in the forest herself. She would hum softly, her voice blending with the sound of the flowing water and the chirping of crickets, and the fish, as if drawn to her gentle tune, would gather around her, their colorful scales shimmering in the sunlight as they listened intently. She collected fallen berries and nuts and placed them near their homes, ensuring they had food even when she couldn't be there. One day, as she was walking through the woods, she came across a clearing she had never seen before. Before her stood a magnificent sight, a gathering of the animals she had befriended throughout her adventures in the woods. In that moment, she realized that her bond with the forest went beyond just friendship. From that day on, her commitment to the forest deepened. She continued to be a friend to all its inhabitants, but now she was also a guardian, ensuring that the balance and beauty of the woods were preserved for generations to come. It was a profound connection with all living things, a recognition that she was part of a greater whole, a harmonious ecosystem where every creature had a place and every life mattered. The rabbits were there, their eyes shining with adoration. The squirrels sat on the branches of the oak tree, their tails twitching in excitement. With heavy steps, she left the forest, promising in her heart to be back again tomorrow. The forest, with its whispering trees and its myriad of creatures, had become her solace, her joy, her life, and she, in turn, had become its protector, its friend, its heart. And the monkeys swung from vine to vine, their cheers echoing in the clearing. In the middle of the clearing was a majestic oak tree, its branches reaching towards the sky like welcoming arms. Beneath the tree was a circle of smooth stones, and she had a sudden urge to sit in the center of the circle. In this world of green, she was not just a visitor, she was a cherished guest. The animals had grown accustomed to her gentle presence and welcomed her with open hearts and curious glances. And all the wonders she had seen, and the fish, in their silent wisdom, seemed to understand every word. She believed that the forest had given her so much joy and wonder that she, in turn, wanted to do everything she could to protect and preserve it. So she started small, picking up litter she found on her walks, planting small trees and flowers, and spreading the message of love and care for the environment to everyone she met. Sometimes she would stay by the river for hours, throwing small stones into the water and making wishes upon their ripples. The fish, her silent audience, seemed to share in her dreams, their eyes sparkling with a reflection of her hopes and desires and trust, as she scratched behind their ears, each scratch leaving a trail of warmth and contentment. As the sun climbed higher in the sky, she would come across the chattering troop of monkeys that lived in the canopy. They would swing from branch to branch, their playful squeals echoing her own joy. Her spirit was as bright and lively as the summer sun, always beaming with joy and curiosity about the world around her. Here lived a family that personified happiness. Their days were filled with laughter, their nights with peaceful slumber, and the source of this idyllic life was their 5-year-old daughter, whose sweetness and innocence were the very essence of the house's charm. She was a vision of purity, with her skin as soft as the first petals of spring and eyes as big and curious as the sky. The undergrowth rustled with tiny paws and twitching noses, and she knew that she was not alone. And so her day flowed, filled with simple pleasures and profound connections. She was not just a child in a forest. She was a friend, a confidant, a part of the very fabric of the woods. For her, the forest was alive with a symphony of sounds and colors that spoke a language she understood perfectly. Every morning when the first rays of sunlight kissed the dew-kissed meadows, she would wake up with a smile as radiant as the rising sun. Her day began with a ritual as ingrained in her as the sunrise itself. She would put on her favorite dress, a symphony of pinks and purples adorned with embroidered flowers that matched her hair ribbons. Then she would rush to the window, her eyes searching for the familiar sight that signaled the start of her day's adventure. When she saw the tall trees of the whispering woods swaying gently in the morning breeze, she would giggle with delight and dash out the door. As she skipped along the forest floor, the tall trees seemed to part for her, revealing a world teeming with life. The soft hoot of an owl became a friendly greeting. She would stop by the burrows of the rabbits that lived near the old oak tree, and they would greet her with excited peeps. And when the rabbits hopped away, she would continue her journey deeper into the woods, her laughter echoing through the trees. In turn, the squirrels would gather around her, their sharp eyes gleaming with affection. She would sit on a low branch and feed them berries, which they would snatch from her hand with nimble fingers. Once she found a feather as bright and cheerful as a rainbow, and the bird perched on her finger. She gave it some water from her canteen, and it sang a beautiful song just for her. Her love for the animals knew no bounds. She would often sit by the babbling brook that ran through the woods, watching the fish darting in and out of the clear water. She would talk to them about her day, her family, but her love for the forest was not just about taking, it was also about giving. As the years passed, her bond with the forest deepened, turning into a powerful force of conservation and love. As she sat there, she closed her eyes, and when she opened them, the forest around her seemed to shimmer. She felt a surge of emotion, a deep sense of belonging and love for these creatures who had become an integral part of her life. This realization filled her with a sense of responsibility, a vow to protect and cherish the natural world that had given her so much joy. As the sun began its slow descent, painting the sky in hues of orange and purple, she knew it was time to return home.